Today we're going to take a look at the 10 new pence coins from 1968. But first, before we do that, we have to get a little bit of background in the 10p coin in the kind of run-up to the British decimalization. So prior to the 10p coin, there was a coin called the 1 florin coin, or the florin coin, or the 2 shillings coin. And this is an example of the last of the 2 shillings coins. And that this is a 1967 2 shillings coin. And you can see, if we put it like this, you see it says 2 shillings, 1967, Fid Def, Defender of the Faith. Has the English rose in the center, has the Scottish thistle, the Welsh leek, and the Irish shamrock going around the outside. Just a beautifully designed and engraved coin. And this, of course, is the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the front, with the ribbons coming out of her hair. Now, in 1967, Britain decided, right around that time, that they were going to move to decimalization. In other words, you were no longer going to have a 1 pence coin that was equal to 1/240th of a British pound, or a half-pence coin like this one, which was equal to 1/480th of a British pound. So in 1967, they stopped minting these 2 coins. There are some proof versions of 1970. I think they actually go up to proof versions in these coins, but they didn't make any for general circulation after 1967. But the trick with this 2 shillings or 1 florin coin was it was worth a tenth of a British pound. So they said, since we already have one that's worth a tenth of a British pound, why don't we introduce one just like it, or very like it, that's worth a tenth of the new British pound after decimalization. You can see that they are pretty much almost exactly the same size. They have quite different backs, however, and let's get to that. So these are all from 1968, and those of you who collect these will frequently find that you have a ton of the 1968s. And people ask why they have so many 1968s when the other years are harder to find. And that's because when they first put out a coin, they frequently put out a bunch of them. So this coin was produced from 1968 till 1981. It has a Arnold Machen, the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth, on it. And as you can see over here, let's blow this one up a little bit because it's just a nice coin. DG Reg FD 1968. By the grace of God, Queen and Defender of the Faith 1968. Elizabeth II. She's wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara here with the 2 prongs up front. Has a beaded outer rim. And again, if we look at the back, we also see that it has a beaded outer rim. If we tip these up, we see that they have a reeded edge. And this particular coin in 1968, when it first came out, they made 336 million of these. Now, some of you who have really studied this say, well, we know that decimalization didn't occur until 1971, so how are you saying that this coin came out in 1968? Well, because this coin was going to be worth a tenth of a British pound even in 1968, they started producing a bunch of them in 68 to kind of get this tenth of a pound thing going. But they did not move to direct decimalization of the British pound until 1971. So for the 10p, or the 10 new pence, that came out in 1968. And they made 336 million of these in 68, 314 million of these in 69, and 133.5 million of them in 70. So what they did was they kind of ramped up production. So you got about 750 million of these out before Britain actually went to decimalization. What kind of coin is it? Well, it's the same as the old one. It's a copper nickel coin. Same as the old 2 shillings coin. It's a copper nickel coin. It is big, though. It's 11.31 grams. And some of you collect these coins and know about the newer 10 pence coins. And what they did was, after 1981, they didn't produce any more of these new pence. And then in 1992, they came out with a 10 pence coin. So they took the new off, put a 10 in, the same kind of background, but they made it much smaller. So this is called the large 10p. This is called the small 10p. And uh, again, they had a break in the year. So this particular coin was made from 68 to 81. And then the smaller 10p coin did not come out for general circulation until 1992, though there were some proof sets released prior to that. Okay, and those of you who are really, really interested in the 10p know that there's a bunch of new 10p coins coming out this year with just drastically different designs. I think there are 23 commemorative, 26 commemorative, one for each letter of the English alphabet, coming out in 2018, 2019. And we will be doing videos on those as soon as we receive our set of those. So look for that, and look at our other British coins, and look at our other world